So Drew, man, early days in music, working at Abercrombie, Southfall Studios, the move to Meserol. We're here now, 910 Grand Street.
Yeah.
In this space, I know you've worked with a lot of different artists. Why don't you let us know some of them? I know we know, but for the audience, some of the artists you worked on, maybe some of the projects, some
You
memorable.
can name drop.
Yeah,
you can name drop if
this
you
is
want.
when you name drop, man.
Let
flex,
them know,
flex
man.
on them, bro.
You
Go ahead.
flex on them.
Yeah, flex on them,
shit,
bro.
Man. Your resume heavy. You heard?
No,
I didn't want to say
Yeah.
that. You know,
Yeah,
I don't want to get. I got so many relationships, but you my favorite.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
Fuck it ain't personal.
I mean, I started as an intern and assistant at a bunch of studios in Manhattan and also abroad. And I kind of got a few cool little assistant credits. I did some Mariah Carey stuff.
Hold on, wait.
Some Balancing Soul stuff.
He said
if you're
abroad.
punk rock stuff.
Yeah.
He said abroad. Make sure y'all catch that. He said abroad.
Abroad. I interned at a studio in Rome when I was 21.
Talk about it.
What was that like? Let's speak on. Yeah, let's
Speak on Rome.
let's
Speak on Rome.
Yeah.
Talk about
I just got back from Rome last week.
Oh wow. Okay, look at that.
I'm
Look at that.
I'm trying to get figure out my exit plan for America.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's look at the
Nice.
grand scheme of
Yeah.
life
Why
here,
not,
okay?
man?
Yeah. So
Are we behind him?
I'm trying to get out of this country slowly. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
not to rush things. I know all my work is in New York. I'm going to be here forever. I'm never leaving. But hey, I need a backup plan. And so when I was 21, I convinced my school, Five Towns College, they didn't have a study abroad program. I was like, well, this is bullshit. All my friends are studying abroad. Why can't I study abroad?
Yeah.
So they gave me funding for lodging, flights, and meals and stuff like that for a 5-week internship in Rome. So I found a really good studio. It was called Forward Studios, and I went out there, I think, from like the beginning of June through like the middle of July or something like that. And it was awesome. And it was totally different genres. It was more like way more classical based.
Okay.
But it definitely kind of gave me just a better perception of what music's like outside of America too. Like, cause you see New York studios, we're doing hip hop, we're doing R&B, we're doing pop records. They're doing weird bands, like really classical type singers, string quartets. It's just a whole different style of music you do out there. So it helped me kind of come back here with a different perspective. Going back to the name dropping. I came back. And so, I had a few of those cool little assistant credits, and then I kind of started my own thing. Got a chance to work with a bunch of, and early on, it was a bunch of Wu-Tang guys from Raekwon to Method Man, moved on to Cudi and Joey Badass and Janae Aiko and Skrillex and just a bunch of really cool people. I mean, honestly,
Hold on. And he ain't got that in his bio.
it's hard. I hate talking about it.
Exactly.
I hate being the kind of person that kind of like name drops and has to be like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But I think you just got to just do it. I think
20 years in is about time that you showcase what you do.
Well, I think I'm in the end, you never know what's going to walk in the door, and you never know where someone's going to end up. Like, I've worked with artists before. Like, I had Travis Scott in here before he was even Travis Scott.
Yeah.
Like, in situations that he was literally just a fly on the wall observing Cudi stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nah,
like trying to get into the brewery, like trying to be a part of this thing, hanging out. And you're like, well, but in you see things kind of like, you never know where someone's going to wind up. Like I worked with SZA back before SZA blew up. You just have to be kind of ready to make anyone better than they were before, when they first walked in the door. And you realize that everyone is at a different point in their career, and not everyone's going to go all the way through to trying to get to the very top. But you're just along for the ride. And in essence, you're just trying to make music that makes you feel good about your day too. And I think that's part of why I also like not only mixing records, I love recording records. I love the idea of crafting something with the artist, trying to get their idea of it, putting my 2 cents in, making this thing more timeless than it could be, because we've been able to kind of like go back and forth with it.
Right.
I forgot I was going.
So what would you say, what would be like one of your biggest records that you said you engineer?
Oh yeah, he just said Eat the Booty. Probably the Janae Aiko, Chris Brown.
Oh, Eat the Booty like
Mars
groceries, like he said. Say that,
Toasting
yeah.
record. Yeah,
Oh,
that thing went
so
like multi-platinum.
so when she said that line, "Eat the booty like
I mean,
groceries,"
she was right there behind that desk, and she was with her sister, and that was the line in question. She was like, "Should I say this?" And her sister's like, her like day-to-day manager. She's like, "Yeah, you should say this."
it was a great call. It was a great
Smart move, right? Good move.
Sister did a great job.
Yeah,
Shout out
good
to the
call.
sister.
But it's weird how that one line just resonated so
Yeah.
hard. It's like the rest
Even
of the
to
song
this
doesn't
day.
even matter. And it's in the verse. It's like
Yeah.
punchline in the verse. But hey, I think it's always about that one punchline in the verse more so than it is about the hook sometimes with hip hop. It's like, it's just about how crafty are you with your words? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like we're always just trying to one up each other and make that thing just less words, more resonance, make it bigger.
So what would you say some of your favorite albums that you worked on?
Some favorite albums I've worked on. I think one of my favorite albums I worked on was actually Joey Badass's first album, just because it was such a mismatch of weird, awfully recorded records. It was just records.
Wait, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Elaborate.
You all right?
Yeah.
Where the Pepsi at, man?
Yeah.
You want some water?
No, it was a total mismatch of weird, like, it sounds like people were recording in basements. Everything was dusty, like, and I'm just trying to clean up dust off these records, make it salvageable.
Yeah,
stems are coming in like weird grime things on them, and like I'm literally just trying to get cleanup happening. And it was the most amount of cleanup, and it was the most amount of songs I think that were in the contention. I think it was maybe like 30 songs. The one getting cut down to maybe like 12, and so many songs that I really liked that didn't make that project. And probably got lost in the dust now. But it was just nice to kind of like put someone's first foot forward, and also have to like see how much material was there to get that first foot forward like that. Do you know what I mean? It was such a scale. It was a scaling. It was like, all right, well, the song isn't work. Well, maybe we could get a feature for this song. Maybe the song can work in the end. Or, well, this song, we really like this song, but in the end, we just can't get any stems for it or anything. Like, we can't make it sound better than it is. Is the quality good enough? No, it's not. All right. Just things like that. It was like a lot of, and it felt like I was still young. Everyone was still young. This was what, 2000, I can't even tell you when, 2013?
Yeah, it ought to be like 13. Yeah.
So it also felt like we were all just trying things out still, trying to get acquainted with the process as much as we were with trying to it wasn't as much polishing as it was trying to figure it out, which is the coolest part. I think the figuring it out is always part of the cool part.
So I know you just said Joey Badass, which makes me lead into like R.I.P. Capital Steez. I know you was there for the whole Capital Steez and Smith record.
Dude, that was a weird day.
Yeah.
I remember that day like it was yesterday. He came in, and you rarely see someone with like he had a cloud over him. Like there was an aura of something is up, something is wrong. And like you could literally see the cloud over his head. I can envision it right now. And it was a bizarre thing to kind of have that kind of energy. It's very rare. And then how many more days later was that? Like a week, right?
The next day.
It wasn't the next day, but it was a couple days later.
Days later, that same week. And it was like the last verse.
Right, that was the last verse he recorded here. Yeah, he recorded.
I mean, but
I could talk about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
It ain't personal. I'll never forget the day B was telling me that he was getting that record recorded, right? So when he got the record recorded, I remember that I think David set it up, right?
Yeah.
David set it up. And when David set it up, he came back and he told me how the session went. Because I asked him, I was like, how the session was, and I knew that was like Joey Badass's man. And he was just like, I guess his aura, like Steve's aura kind of like was moving as he did Be a Favor. Am I wrong for that?
Yeah.
Like he was talking as if like he was doing Be a Favor, and at that time, even to this day, nigga, B Smith is the GOAT to me. If you got a problem, we gonna have a problem forever. You heard? So
you didn't like that he was moving like that?
I didn't like the fact that B came and he told me that.
Okay.
Because what you mean? Like, B Smith nice.
Yeah.
I know you nice, but like you acting like this some slouch. So when he said like, yo, you was doing him a favor, like he was talking like if he was doing him a favor, I was not jacking Steez at all. I wasn't jacking that. A couple days later, when the situation happened, and then you know me and him talking about it, I said to him, I said, damn, that's why he was moving like he was doing you a favor. Because he probably knew he was giving you his last verse. And that's why I changed my whole perspective. And then when I listened to that verse over and over and over
such
again,
a good verse, man.
it's such a great verse.
Incredible verse.
Yeah, he recorded it right here.
Yo, he recorded it right here.
Yeah.
It's still one of the best verses I've ever recorded.
Yeah.
That verse was, he had the passion of 1,000 fucking warriors in him.
Yeah,
I believe, and I'll save my opinions for that verse another day. Cause it feels like that verse was very personal.
So personal.
It was very personal.
So personal.
Yeah, it was.
So personal.
But what I did take from it was my aura and my energy changed towards him because it made me realize that's why he was moving that day. Like if he was doing B a favor, because at the end of the day, he gave him his last verse ever.
Yeah, no, it was, I mean, it all happened so quick. And it made me realize what exactly it was that happened in the studio after I found out.
Yeah.
And like, I remember listening to the record like so many times afterwards, being like, "Oh wow, this is literally just him going off."
Yeah.
And like, you'd never have thought if it didn't go down like that, I wouldn't have thought twice about that. I'd be like, "Yeah, he was just having a shitty day."
Yeah. I thought he was just like, oh, he's just off or whatever. Yeah.
But
he had a lot weighing on him.
It was a lot on him.
Yeah.
You know,
guy, yeah. So
man, but rest in peace to Capital Steez, the legend. You know, for those who don't know, go check it out. Last Straw Smith featuring Capital Steez is out there on all platforms. You know, it's a dope record. Yeah.
And I think also what you did was commendable. What you did with the proceeds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The money for it goes to the family, being that he was somebody who, you know, didn't really get his just due. And I think that weighed heavy on him. And I just felt like, you know, let me just do my part. I knew the record was dope, right? Mm-hmm. Even before, you know, him transitioning, and I knew I was gonna put it out. When the tragedy happened, I felt like I still wanted to put out the song, but I didn't want people to feel like I was like clout chasing. Mm-hmm. You know, like I really just felt like this record was fire. This is potential. This has the potential to be like his last song or whatever.
Position as an artist, like, can I put it out?
Right.
The person just passed.
Or does it stay here in the hard drive? You know, I felt like that wouldn't have done it justice. You know, like it had to be put out.
I think that's something we've got to comment on is I've now been doing this for 20 years. And one thing is I've seen people pass away in like left and right, musicians, young as fuck.
Yeah.
Like kids 23, kids like 28, 30, like some OD, some you don't know what happened. You never get the backstory. Mm-hmm. Some kill themselves. It's really kind of, I think that's what shakes you more than anything. I think what resonates more so than what albums have I worked on is like, who have I seen, who I started with that is no longer here. Mm-hmm. And you see people like Steez.
Yeah.
This girl, China Rogers, I used to work with.
Yo, oh my God.
This guy, Brian Zenteno, I used to work with. There's so many people. China Rogers.
Oh my God. I actually started following her because you started posting her. And we started posting her.
Dude. I mean, it's weird. Like, that's the bigger thing. And music is music, but life is life. And sometimes, like, it just boils over. And it's tough to watch people you're working with on a daily basis. You're making records for months, years. And then all of a sudden no longer there. And then you're stuck with the records. Also, New Money. The kid I forgot. But there's fucking so many people. I'm probably forgetting like 4 other people. But yeah, it's like then you're stuck with these records, and it's like what happens with this material? And largely, you're like you don't even have a contact for the family. Like you're just hoping someone hits you up. And every now and then someone does. Like I literally had someone WhatsApp me about a month ago. Her son passed maybe 2022. Mm-hmm. She was trying to find all his records. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm so there for this. Let's go. Yeah. Let me get you all the records. I went through all my drives, found like almost 2 gigs worth of just WAV files of songs to send to this lady.
Wow.
But that's a tragedy. I think that's because music is an outlet, right? But it's like when you put it out into the world, sometimes the reception, there's so much judgment. People like you're not received the way you want to be received. That takes a mental toll on you. And I think it's like, it's hard to kind of push that to the side sometimes. And then you get drenched in your mind and into the drugs and into the fucking self-abuse, and you almost get lost in your own self. You know what I mean? It's dangerous. I think that's what happened with, like, I mean,
a lot of them.
The pressure. I mean, that's what it is. There's an unwritten feeling that we're trying to put out with this work, with this music. And sometimes, like, when people can't, like, actually hear it, like, you're putting it out there, but, like, if people don't hear your voice, and it's like, it's so frustrating. It only adds to that, man, no one understands. I'm by myself. Like, that isolation, it's tough.
Especially, like, you know, what it takes to be an artist, the amount of money you have to invest, the time you have to put in to write the record, create the record, lay down the record. Now you have to promote the record. And then when you see it,
wave it off.
Yeah, you put it out and they're like, it's trash. Like, it hurts. It hurts to hear things like that, you know? We're human. Yeah. We're human.
That's why I think in the end, it's like, with any kind of art, more so than anything else, do it for yourself. Do it for, like, don't let anybody else pass judgment on you. I think I was actually working, you know, UFO Feed.
Yeah, Feed. Yeah, shout out to Feed.
I had him here last week, and he said something very, very worthwhile. It was that you don't worry about the people that don't fuck with you. Don't worry about, like, if they don't fuck with you, don't sweat it. Worry about the people that fuck with you. That's it. And because most people are not going to fuck with you with anything. So it's like, and if you're concerned about that and you let that take over you, then you're losing. If you're just working with the people that fuck with you, you're always winning.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. And that goes to even today. If you go online and see the amount of fans and people that love Steez to this day, they're still asking for his unreleased music. You know, and this has been going on for years now. We're over what, 10 years, 12 years since that song dropped, since he came out, and people are still, he has like a cult following, you know, and I just wish, you know, him and other artists that, you know, that we've lost really understood, you know, how much people loved them, how much the world needed them, you know, before they transitioned, you know. But again, rest in peace to Capital Steez.
R.I.P.
Before we get out of here, I got like a handful of, you know, questions to throw at you, but I definitely want to thank you again for having us on site here at Brewery Studio.
Of course.
Yes, it's been a great time.
Yes. I would say this. Yo, make sure we do a part 2 with Drew, because we didn't even get to.
We're not even done.
We're not even like to the a
really
quarter to the shit that we really been through. Right. But
yeah, and we definitely want to pull up. You know, I know you usually used to have these legendary anniversary parties.
Hey,
is that coming back? What are we doing, man?
What we another one this summer. I was talking to my partner. We're going to try to figure out a date either for later in July or in August.
Nice.
But yeah, I feel like the biggest thing again is a lot of it's so morale based and community based. We want to make sure that everyone is, you know, coming out, having a good time, meeting, greeting. And then since COVID, there's also been like a big turnover in music. A lot of people fell out of music. A lot of people fell into music since then. So it's always fresh faces. It's always a revolving door. And I think these are just good opportunities for us to kind of gather everybody, kind of introduce people to each other who are in the same scene, who might not overlap on a given day, but we're all part of the same thing. I think that's what makes the brewery kind of a very particular studio in New York, where it's a very specific circle of us. It's a big circle of us, but everyone seems to know each other in some realm. I've worked with that person. Oh, you know that person? Yeah, I know that person. Oh, I work with him. Oh, you know him? Oh, yeah. I've done a show with that person. Oh, yeah. He booked me. You know, it's always like some kind of smaller ecosystem.
Yeah.
So we missed one last year, but I think in July, August we'll do another.
Nice, man. Great time. So another one real quick, the plugin, right? So you might hear that word for those out there, you know, when it comes to like mixing and putting songs together, there's something called plugins that you need as far as to get the sound where it needs to be.
Yes.
Can you explain what exactly is a plugin, and then give me maybe like 2 or 3 of your favorites?
Okay, so plugins are things that work with your digital audio workstation, your DAW. And you will they could be anything. It could be anything from an auto tune and a tuning thing to a spatial thing like reverb or delay to an EQ or a compressor, or it could be anything. Could be a a virtual instrument like a synthesizer, but a plugin essentially is made by a third party, and it will work with your DAW, and it'll provide you some kind of function, some kind of tool. And I think it's hard to see what my favorite plugins are. I've used so many over the years. I'm trying to think. I think.
Or like, what do you think you've used the most? Which one you've used
I will
the
say,
most?
hey, if you're doing a lot of hip hop records,
Mhm.
I will always say this to everybody: get vocal line. That shit will help you tidy up lots of vocal layers in a heartbeat. That everything else there are substitutes for. That thing it is prime time with that baby. Vocal line. If you have like a lead track and a double track, it'll tighten up the double track to kind of match the lead track's timing. You're doing layers with vocalists, and you're doing 3 or 4 part harmonies, and there's a ton of stacks of each layer. It helps keep everything tidy. I use it on every single thing I do, probably.
Nice.
But the world is big, the world is vast. Everyone makes good plugins. There's always one plugin beating another plugin. The big thing is they're all just tools. I think you give me a plugin, you give me any of this outboard gear behind us. They're all just tools. It's nice you only have to use it for one little thing, but that one little thing is important. That one little time.
Yeah.
And there's a certain thing that each thing does, and without the others, the other one doesn't make sense. So it's like they're all just part of the tool belt that you wear. You have things you want to access, and I think as an engineer, you kind of get into the habit of using some things you prefer other things, and you just get good at using your tools. It might not be the best hammer. Some other guy might have a better hammer than you, right? But you don't miss with this fucking hammer. You always hit this shit with a hammer.
Yeah.
You like the weight of this shit. You're so comfortable. Like, that's your hammer.
Yeah.
Like, you give me the other guy's nicer hammer that's more expensive, you won't be able to do shit with it.
Yeah.
It's all about the tools you use. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's not about what the best tool is. It's about how well do you know the tool that you have. And I remember there were years where I was transitioning and I lost all my plugin authorizations. I had to use only stock plugins for a while. And you get good at using the stock plugins. You're like, all right, I have no other option. I have to use this piece of bullshit and make it as good as it can be. And you get good at it. And then when you go back to the other ones, you're like, oh, now I'm really good with this other shit. But again, you just have to get good with what you have on your tool belt and whipping them out and kind of like knowing how fast you could utilize which one at what time. And that's what makes like a good engineer is the speed, the efficiency in getting from point A to point Z, from A to Z as fast as possible and in the best way possible. It's like, because you don't want to lose the magic. As an engineer, you're here to capture that magic moment, right? The more things you put in the way of that, whether it's you trying to find the right plugin through a list of plugins, or you trying to figure out the right patch, like you're losing that sense of timing, you're losing that sense of why we're in a studio. You're here to kind of like get that snapshot of something really important for that moment. So be quick about everything. Be quick about what you're using. So this way, it's not you're not sitting there choosing and making decisions. You know what you're going to use. You know what you're going to do for this. You know you can do what you can do for that, and you know how to get the best out of artists. Also, I think a lot of it is making people feel comfortable. A lot of it's known tools, and the other part is being personable, being a person that other people want to sit in a room with for hours at a time and making these records with. It's hard to find a personality that you just easily mesh with. I think one of the things about the brewery also is we have different kinds of people here. You might not get along with me. You might get along with this other person or that other person, this other person better. And
shout out some of your staff, man.
My staff is great, dude. Biggest shout out, Dot and Nick, those two guys forever, but also Parker, Max. I mean, I love all you guys.
You've had interns over the years, right?
But yeah, it's been a growing operation, and I love all my engineers, all my producers, everyone here. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to keep doing this for this long with these people.
So I would say this. So one last question, right? How did the name The Brewery come about?
So I was at it was still Southpaw Studios, and I was at that old location on Mesro Street, and it was a big microbrewery that got flipped into a bunch of loft spaces, and the realtors kept referring to it as the brewery, and I was like, yeah, it's the brewery. And that's my brewery recording studio.
That was
okay. That's how it just happened. It was just a matter of repetition of the name, hearing it here. I was like, yeah, going back to the brewery. I'm going back to the brewery. I'm going back to the brewery. It just became the brewery.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm sorry. One more, and we done.
You go,
all right,
good, bro.
If you can go back,
cut all this out.
Yeah.
This all, chop it all out.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no, BS got great with the edits. You heard?
sure
we
this is
good.
all
This is gonna be dope, man.
It's gonna be fire. I already know.
If you can go back to 2005, right?
Yeah.
And you can talk to young Drew and give him like a little piece of advice.
No one's ever asked me that before.
Yeah, if you can give him a piece of advice, what would you tell him?
Mm-hmm. The Drew that's in South Fork.
Knowing where you are, knowing where you've been, you know.
In South Fork,
yeah,
Drew.
what would you say to
the
him?
brewery Drew?
Would you say
Drew.
Would you say anything to him? What would you say?
Would you even talk to him?
Yeah.
Hey, the one thing is, I would talk to him.
Okay.
All right. All things set aside.
Yeah.
I have a passion career, right? Like my career is a passion career. I don't make a lot of money doing this. And I think with anyone doing a passion career, something there where you're not doing a tech job or a finance job or this kind of job or that, like you have to understand that there will be ups and downs, and you will eventually just have to learn how to ride the wave. You can't control the wave. Mm-hmm. You are on it. And for better or worse, COVID hits. You have to ride that wave out. Engineers leave. You have to ride that wave out. You have to leave a facility. You have to ride that wave out. You are not in control for most of the things you do in your life. There are outside elements, putting forces on whatever you're doing. And with any passion career, if you're trying to rely on that for anything more than just an outlet of your own existence, you might be asking for too much. I think a passion career is about you just being a part of life. I think that I'm so grateful for being a part of life. I have friends who I get to work with all the time, and I don't make a lot of money. I don't have a lot of savings. I don't get this and that, no insurance. I mean, it's fine. Because in the end, my fulfillment is fully there. And if you're not getting your full fulfillment out of your passion career, then you're not doing it right. And I think then maybe time to walk away. But until you start feeling like you're not getting all that out of you got to keep riding those waves. Keep riding those waves. Because there will be times when you're feeling like, all right, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I wanted to do. This is not cool. Just got to keep riding the waves, because there will be an up and there will be a down, and it'll keep going up and down. But the best thing is you got to live this as part of your life. You didn't sign up for a thing where you're in some kind of cycle of the same thing, talking to the same boss or doing the same thing. Like I have the pleasure of seeing new people every day. Like I'm working on new songs every day, and all of that, it's so rewarding. And I think that's the best part of it. It's like fuck all, like I don't need a fucking yacht. I don't need a fucking multi-million-dollar home. I don't need this. I'm fucking chilling in my own existence. I think that's the best part.
Yo, Drew, I love you so much for
right,
that,
man.
Because I'll never forget the day that I felt I was fully rich. When I came in the crib and I got my daughter, got my shorty, and I had my dog. That moment right there made me feel like, I'm richer than a lot of people right now. You get what I'm saying?
Totally.
So when you say that, like, just the fulfillment within self is kind of like, that's why, I enjoy doing this show with B. It don't matter about the money. It don't matter about, like, the views. It don't matter about the light. It don't matter about nothing. The fact that I could get on camera and I could be on camera with this nigga, you get what I'm saying? He stopped fucking with me.
That guy's back.
Yeah.
Dynamic duo.
Yo, and then he fucking with me. But that's only because, like, everything you just said just, like, kind of, like, just hit home for me. And it just made, I want everybody to understand, like, that wave that you was talking about, a lot of people jump off that boat. They jump off that boat, and then, when it comes back around, they be like, damn, I want to come back on the boat.
Exactly.
You can't come back on the boat. You should have stayed on the boat. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, that right there is just like the essence of real life, true friendship. And, I've said this probably twice, once and a half, but this is officially my favorite episode. Sorry, Ray. Sorry, Ray. Ray was the first one.
Ooh,
but
sorry, Ray.
it was that how you ended that just now.
Yeah.
I want that to just resonate with all the viewers, anybody that watch us, because I feel like that's the true essence of life. Fuck creating, fuck this music shit. fuck anything, fuck all of that. Like
fulfillment.
just a fulfillment of life, just finding out what makes you happy personally.
Finding that passion in something and just
and that
using that for yourself, and it comes in and it comes out. Do you know what I mean? That's what we're here for, in and out.
Fact. And even like switching, like pivoting, like, you know, you might find passion in the career that you're doing, then you might have to find passion in being a father, you know, being a wife, being a mother, being a, you know,
and you could do it in all those things,
and
life keeps going, and there will be more stages. Like, we're not even close to like getting through all of them yet.
Right.
And that's why I said, you know, there will be a part 2 to this, because this shit is a marathon.
Absolutely.
And I feel like, yo,
and as a kid, you don't understand. You think you're sprinting, and like, you only have so much breath left to keep sprinting, right? At some point, you're like, oh man, and then you stop, you slow down, and then you look around, and it's still going. And you still have more. You still have to go. You gotta get back on the horse. And I think sometimes when people stop that sprint, they look back and they look how far they came, and sometimes like, damn, I did a lot, and that kind of like hinders you going. And then forward. They just start walking from then on.
Facts. Oh shit! You see that? Yes.
But you shouldn't be walking. You should get back onto that running tip. Get back onto it.
Because God knows when you stop again how far you would be.
Exactly. It's fucking right.
Yo, Drew.
Right. I love it, man. Yo, Drew, we gotta do the handshake on camera, bro. There you go. There we classic. Go. Yeah.
I ain't have it. That's how you know.
That's how you know it's. That's how you know it's real. On that note, my name is Smitty Coleon.
Real easy. When I got it, y'all get it.
And this is It Ain't Personal. Drew, we thank you again,
guys. Much love.
And yo, one last, we gotta give it to him. Well, you know, we get. This the motherfucking GOAT. It's a
legend.
Legend.
Appreciate these guys.
A legend.
Brewery Studios, 910 Grand Street. You heard?
Street, you holler. This is
Googling.
Home. This was home.
Yeah.
This was the first home. You heard? I was recording with my feet kicked up. No sneakers. Yo, Drew, you already know how I like it.
No
I don't want no sneakers, and I need the lights off. That's how I record and Mr. One Take Timmy.
Yeah.
How much one takes I didn't give you?
Dude, mostly one takes.
Facts. I come in here prepared. I don't want to stress my engineer out. Stop stressing.
Like, play the B once. I'll play the B once.
Facts.
You go over it in his head. He's like, all right, here we go.
I got it.
Yeah. So there it is. It ain't personal.
Bow.